What's going on, Bulldogs? This is Coach Gil Morera, H2F lead strength and conditioning coach for 3rd Brigade. So let's talk today about our second week of training for deployment. So remember, every weekly program that we send out is going to have ability groups. So you're always going to have a beginner, an intermediate, and advanced for every single day of the week, right? So each tab here in this Excel document is going to be a different training session for a different day. So the way you read this document is, let's say here we go Monday in the beginner intermediate group. So the training focus, just so you know what you're training that specific day. Today here we have aerobic training. Then you're going to go ahead and execute the warm-up. For if you have any questions regarding the exercise, so let's say you don't know what a reverse lunge with the reach is, all you have to do is click on that exercise. It's going to redirect you to a YouTube video that demonstrates exactly what you got to do. Moving on to the actual session, you have a choice here between a timed run or a timed ruck, depending on what your unit is going to do that day or depending on what you feel like doing. Once you conclude that session, you're going to go and execute the core. Remember, if you don't know what something means, all you have to do is click on it, and then leading us to the recovery. And that would conclude that day. If you go in the intermediate, it follows exactly the same pattern. It's just the session and the core is going to be slightly more advanced, more progressed than the beginner, and advanced is exactly the same, right? It's going to be the most advanced programming in this program we're going to be sending out. And then you're going to move on to Tuesday. Tuesday follows the same pattern, but now we're training strength. So we're going to be using weights, right? So you're going to execute the warm-up. Once you're done with the warm-up, you're going to move on into the workout. And the workout here, we have several exercises. For example, here we're going to start, there's going to be 3 rounds of bodyweight prisoner squat times 10 reps, paired up with or supersetted with lying leg raises, 10 repetitions. So once you do the 3 rounds of the 10 reps, you're going to move on to the second part of the workout, right? So the difference between the beginner, the intermediate, and the advanced is if you haven't trained in a while, if you haven't been consistent with your training because of COVID or whatever it is, reason that is, start in the beginner, right? Do a few weeks in the beginner until you're comfortable enough to move on to the intermediate. If you've been training on and off during COVID or you just haven't been consistent, intermediate is a good place to start. Or if you have been very consistent with your training, you're just ready to go, advanced is the best option for you, right? So the difference is that here in this specific day, beginner is 3 rounds per station, intermediate is 4 rounds per station, and advanced it's got to be 5 rounds. The movements of each station are very similar from one to the other. So for example, here beginner is all body weight, right? So body weight prisoner squat, whereas that movement for the intermediate ability group is going to be a kettlebell deadlift, which is going to be a little more challenging than a body weight prisoner squat. And for the advanced group, it's going to be an actual trap bar deadlift. So you're really going to have to choose what group fits you best, right? So you don't have to be stuck into one group every single week. If you feel comfortable enough, if you feel ready to progress to the next group, go ahead and do so. If you do that for a couple weeks and you feel like, oh, that's maybe just a little too much for me, bump it back to intermediate. It really depends on your fitness level, whatever works for you, right? Moving on to Wednesday, we have our anaerobic conditioning, so a little faster sprints. And then Thursday is going to be a little bit different. Until further notice, what the brigade is going to be doing is Bulldog 6s and 10, which is combat-specific training every Thursday, right? So leadership is going to be disseminating the program down to you guys. Friday, we have our strength day also, where it's going to be different movements than Tuesday's strength day. One's going to complement the other, right? And same thing, ability groups. You can choose whichever one fits you best here. And then we added an extra session, which you can choose Saturday or Sunday is going to be our bonus session. And it's an aerobic running session. So this one, you're really going to choose when you want to execute that session. So remember, this really depends on your if you have access to equipment. So let's say Tuesday you don't have access to equipment, but we have a strength day. So don't simply not train that day. Just do a running session. Go to Monday, Wednesday, or the bonus session, which is much more running, aerobic or anaerobic. And choose one of those sessions, and then let's say Monday or Wednesday that in this program is more running, but then you have access to a gym, to the Beaver Fit, or to whatever equipment you can find. Then go ahead and perform Tuesday session, which is strength, more strength dominant, right? Weightlifting. So the only day that cannot be changed here is Thursday, because that's the commander's intent, right? All the other days are kind of interchangeable. It really depends on your schedule, your operation schedule of your unit, whatever's going on that day and that week. So remember that every week we're going to be pushing out training sessions, workouts, yoga sessions that you can perform, mobility sessions to really help you out with some training ideas. And then later in the week, we're going to push out the program that has a session for every single day of the upcoming week. So you have a little bit of time to prepare, have all the equipment ready, so you know all the exercise and so on. There's only one day of the week that is complete rest, right? That day, if you want to go out and do a little active recovery, if you go to the pool, or if you're going to do a little bit of, a little bit of lighter cardio, just make sure you have one day a week that you're just resting so you don't overtrain your body. In case you have not seen week one, just reach out to your leadership. They should have the email, they should have the program, so they can disseminate that down to you. Every week, we're going to be pushing out a new program, so make sure you're consistent with your training. We're here to help you guys. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us. Ask your leadership for our emails or our phone numbers, and we're here to help you guys. So again, if you have any questions, reach out. We're here to help you. I'll see you next week. Go Bulldogs.